Welcome to Sopranos Prima Volta. I am Sam Roberts. This is Ian Fidance.
Motto.
And if you're joining us just now for the first time, first of all, go back and watch the first episode because we covered all of season 1.
Please.
But this is it's a Sopranos show.
Yes.
It's a watch along in the sense that you can watch as we watch.
Yes.
Where we're going to be covering the Sopranos every week. I am a ridiculous fan. I'm obsessed with the show. It's my favorite show of all time. I'm on my either 5th or 6th rewatch. I'm not 100% sure.
Love it.
But the reason this show exists is because, Ian, you are on your first watch, not first rewatch.
Yes.
It's your Prima Volta.
It is
of
my
the Sopranos.
Prima Volta. Yes. It is my Prima Volta. It is my Italian right as an Italian American to embrace my culture.
Yes.
Which I'm clearly doing.
Yes.
I mean, the bracelet, the pinky ring, this shirt. I'm not going to say on air how much money I've spent on different Italian bowling shirts, but let's just say, Sam, can I borrow some money for rent?
You know what really makes me laugh is that it's one thing when we're here and like we're talking about it, and we're just in the spirit for like the hour or whatever that we're doing this. When I like check your Instagram, and I'm like, we're not doing a show today, and you're still like, you're actually at the festival that you brought up last week.
Oh, yes.
You're like, you're wearing your bowling shirts. You're doing your hand, and I'm like, this is...
In every picture, I'm doing the hands. I'm making people after shows to take pictures do the hands.
Like, this is your thing now, and it's literally because you're watching The Sopranos.
Yes.
For the first time.
For the first time. I'm watching it. I'm enjoying it. And last night after a show, all these photographers take pictures like on the street, and I'm getting strangers to come in. Hey, you want to get in a picture? Okay. And I go, but you got to do the hands. And this guy goes, what? And he puts his hand like this. I go, no. The hands. So it's really turning into a social problem for me.
Well, I'm glad that we have this. But this is also what we do.
Yes.
We take these things that are just destroying our personal lives, and we make something like this out of it so it feels productive.
Yes.
And it does feel productive. So today we're going to start doing last episode. Of course, we did the whole season 1, but that was kind of because you had already seen the whole first season. So, I didn't want to break up all the episodes and act like, you hadn't seen it yet. And also to bring everybody in. I felt like that was the that was the appetizer.
Yes.
Right?
And also, I just want to say, a lot of people enjoyed the appetizer.
Yes, they did.
A lot of people enjoyed the bruschetta, the calamari, the buffalo mozzarella that we laid out.
Here's the thing about Sopranos Prima Volta. We do this family style.
Family style.
Yeah.
I mean, we are the Olive Garden of watch along podcasts because when you're here, you're family.
That's right. And never ending breadsticks.
Yes.
As much as you want.
Yes. And we'll literally hire anyone. If you're a felon or you're nodding out on Oxy, come on in and save us. Also, I just want to say, also, what I love about what we're doing is that I watch the show in blocks, which is very hard because I want to keep going.
I appreciate that.
Dude, I am really, it is a lesson in control and acceptance that I can't move on.
Well, yeah. Well, luckily you're not an addict or anything, so it's not triggering.
You got no idea. I'm chain smoking, watching episodes. I'm like Chris Moltisanti smoking in the apartment. And but not only do I watch, before we record, I go back and rewatch again to get my second dose.
Oh, so this is going to be great. So thanks to this show, you're watching and rewatching at the same time.
Yes.
So by the time you get to the end of the series, you'll be like, yeah, I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm watching, rewatching, alienating everyone in my life, so I have no other choice but to just have me and the Sopranos as my only friends. Develop a parasocial relationship with a family that I could never be a part of. They are the family I've always wanted to have.
It's literally a show about antisocial people.
Yes. Yes. But it's a show about giving yourself to therapy, getting in touch with who you are. It's a show about family. It's a show about having people's backs.
Yeah,
it's a show
that's
about
true.
growth and acceptance and gaining knowledge of self and applying that to situations around you. And I'm gaining knowledge of self in a way because I'm learning how to communicate better.
Good.
And one of the ways I'm learning how to communicate is because I bought a book called Italian Without Words.
Look at the cover of it.
I mean, this guy when I show you some of these pictures of what a stereotypical man and woman look like from Italian descent, you will shit.
It's so offensive.
Wait till you read it. Okay? I mean, let's see. Okay. How do you think you say, go take a good shit? You'll feel a lot better.
I can't believe that you just found that by flipping to a random page, but I don't know. How?
Like this. You look like you're riding a donkey.
Oh, I forgot. It's Italian without words, so you have to do it with hand motions.
Yes. And then to say, mind your own business, you put your hand on your hip and go, ha!
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think they know either. This is really a lot.
Wow.
Verifare umbelicata ti santrici magilio. That means go take a good shit. You'll feel a lot better. Which is the number one phrase in my household.
You just keep saying it to your girlfriend over and over.
Yeah.
She's like, I did twice today already.
Yeah.
I'm not going to feel better.
I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Is
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really don't think anyone knows this. There's no one.
It's not a thing.
Only Italians would use language for the deaf with themselves.
Because that's important. That's not sign language.
No.
It's just how you say things in Italian with Italian gestures.
Because they're constantly gesticulating.
I see.
And they're constantly moving around.
I see.
Because they are just one shade away from being gay. With their colorful outfits, their jewelry, the men kissing each other.
Right.
And,
Well, don't let Paulie Walnuts hear you say that.
And then masking it with the masculinity of, you don't go see a shrink.
That's why it's hyper masculinity.
Yeah. Oh, being Italian's not gay? Why are they shaming Uncle Junior for eating pussy?
Well, yeah, no, with Roberta.
That is insane.
Yeah, no, you're right.
What is gayer than going, Italians, we don't eat pussy? What? What world are you living in?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
And these are some of the themes we explore. So today,
we
are the current format of the show, we're going to try to cover 3 eps per ep. So 3 episodes of The Sopranos per episode of Sopranos Prima Volta. So since we did season 1 already last week, today's episode is season 2. Episodes 1 through 3. Season 2, of course, a very, very important season of The Sopranos. You know, the first episode of The Sopranos, the pilot, was, as we talked about last week, it just existed as its own being. That thing existed a year and a half before they even started shooting the rest of season 1. So that's like, I feel like the pilot is its own thing, and then season 1 kind of introduces the show. But in reality, like, this is where we start to realize we got a series on our hands, and this is where we start to see the evolution take place. So for the first season premiere of a new season of The Sopranos, how did you feel? You know, of course, when we left, we had assassinated Mikey Palmisi. Junior had gone to jail, narrowly avoiding assassination. Livia had a stroke, narrowly avoiding assassination. And now we're back. We enter into season 2 with episode 1. Guy walks into a psychiatrist is the name of the episode. Malfi is, of course, still on the lam. You know, because Tony doesn't quite know yet when everything's going to pan out. But we are seeing that as time has passed, we've kind of gotten to a place where it's business as usual for Tony. Although, to me, I feel like right from the beginning of the first episode, we get this feeling that even though Junior is still alive, and even though Livia is still alive, Tony is no longer making it a secret that he's the real boss.
And, I mean, what a sequence to just catch everyone up with when I was 17. And it shows those vignettes of what they're doing. And Carmela is bringing the food not once but twice. And I will say, last time we met, I said, this is really like they analyzed this and made it a series. And I was tickled pink to see that when Tony is talking to a therapist, he goes, listen, I know the deal. I've seen Analyze This. And he goes, that's a comedy.
yeah, I bit my tongue when you brought up Analyze This, because I knew it's a great scene.
Yes.
When Tony has to go and see a new therapist.
Yes.
Who does it? See, this is what I like about this episode. The part of Tony going to that new therapist, this is where we really start getting into the meat.
Mr. Spears.
Of Tony and Melfi's relationship, and why it's not just Tony seeing a therapist.
It's deeper.
It's deeper with Tony and Melfi. There's something else going on. But yeah.
And that's something else. That's something else I appreciate about the show, because it's this meta thing of like, he's in the mafia and they're mentioning a mafia movie that deals with the psychology of a mafia boss that is on a show dealing with the psychology of a mafia boss.
Right.
These are mafia-made men sitting down to watch Godfather together, constantly repeating their same...
just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
And they sit down to watch the Blu-ray DVD of The Godfather in their little fold-out chairs. And it's so meta because they're the real mobsters watching the Hollywood mobsters reenact their life.
But they love them.
And they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
They're loving it.
Yeah, they're almost like playing, like that's the way I wish it was.
Yes. And in season 2, these first couple episodes, it has cemented my favorite character.
Do you want to talk about that right now?
I mean, do you want to take a guess at who it is?
Well, you were really fond of Carmela coming off of season 1.
Of course.
You loved Carmela.
She's always
going to
be in my heart.
Yeah. You just feel like she's the wife. You're looking for a Carmela.
I found her.
You did?
My gal's Carmela.
Yeah.
I call her Carm. She calls me Tone.
That's toxic.
That's the truth. But we do it in a loving, nice way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have a Gumad. I don't have a...
you don't have a Russian girl?
No. She's Chinese.
Your favorite... It's not Janice, I hope. We meet Janice.
No.
We meet episode...
Pavarotti? Get out of here.
Episode 1, we meet Janice. Episode 1 of season 2.
Yes.
And I feel like that's when we really start digging in. Like, we got the maternal relationship that Tony had, but to see the effect that the mother had on the household, and then how that household affects each other, I feel like that's why Janice, right off the bat, is so important, because she is just as hateable as a person can be.
Yes, and the exposition, I love whenever a new character comes in, you know exactly who they are immediately off the bat. Like Janice, your sister's here. And Tony goes, what does she want? She's going to be leaving 5K heavier or whatever. When she goes, we know that she's a person that, first of all, she changed her name. So, they say she's from Seattle. It establishes that she's a hippy dippy fucking whatever, bottom feeder off the bat, you know, and then we just see how she is Livia reincarnate.
Yeah. And just a user.
Yep.
A user and a hypocrite.
Yep. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So, your favorite character then? It's not Melfi.
No, I love her.
Do you love when she's in the diner?
I've always loved Lorraine Bracco.
Yes, I think we talked about this.
Yes.
I do. See, I really like, and I think it's an interesting choice that on this episode, they start to get a lot more personal with Melfi. Like when she's in the diner.
Yes.
And she screams at him, get out of my life. Like you start getting out of that. And you did it a little bit in season 1, but really on this episode, they go heavy. And I think it's because, like, look, we realized that we started with a doctor-patient relationship, but as soon as we see Dr. Melfi in the motel room, we realize that Tony is not just a patient for Melfi. No. Tony has turned her entire life upside down.
Yes. And we also see her own herself and own her own agency in the fact that she is saying, get out of my life. And we see the ramifications of the deep emotional connection she has with this man.
It's emotional.
Yes. And she feels this responsibility. And I forget what episode it is in, but she sees a psychiatrist. She sees a therapist
we'll get there.
to deal with.
Yeah.
And when he says, are you sexually attracted to him? She goes, no. And he goes, emotionally. And she goes, it's emotional.
Yeah. That's heavy.
Heavy.
Because that's bigger. That's way bigger than sexual attraction.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I would rather be cheated on sexually than emotionally. If I found out that you went out and just fucked, I'd be like, whatever.
Me
but
personally?
Well, you're my partner. In this.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I have kids. Like, I've done it. There's evidence.
If you say you go out and you just had a one-night stand or whatever, I'd be like, fuck. Well, I get it, hormonal, whatever. But if you're like, I've been like texting with someone and talking on the phone for hours, I'd be like, how fucking dare you?
Don't worry, we never hooked up though. And you'd be like, it doesn't.
I'd rather have your heart than your body.
Rather have your
Sam.
Heart. You're a psycho. That's a serial killer thing to say.
What? That's not my hand.
That's what it comes across.
What?
Yeah, that's like real close to like.
I would rather have your mind than your body.
Yeah, no, you're getting real close to Army Hammer.
Wow.
Like I would want to eat you.
Like cannibalism. He's a handsome guy.
He's really handsome.
Thank you.
He's really handsome.
Thank you.
I think that what's really interesting about this episode too is this is where we really start to see Tony. Not only is he pronouncing his mom is dead to him, but anybody that's talking about it.
Yes, that guy,
Philly Parisi.
Why did he get shot because he ran his mouth?
Yeah, that was it.
Wow, I like the guy that shot him.
Yeah, the guy that
seems like a real cool dude.
Goes to the airport and circles.
Yeah,
because he's got that little bag.
Yeah,
and I always find it so cool when people travel on an airplane and they don't have a lot of luggage.
Yeah,
because like I go on an airplane and I'm like, let me make sure I have my iPad. Let me make sure I have a snack. Let me make sure I have like all headphones. Let me make sure.
I'm one duffel bag Fidance.
Yeah,
I just bring a little bag.
But then you see a guy get on a plane and all he's got is what's in his jacket pockets. I'm like, that's a
suspect.
Cool guy.
Suspect. Yeah.
Suspect because he's probably turning around today.
Yep.
Also, what's he thinking about on his plane? Like, are you just going to sit on this whole plane ride? It's like, even if it's just to Florida, it's 3 hours to just sit. We can use JetBlue TV. I don't think so. I don't see headphones.
No.
You know?
And I'm not paying for headphones that they give you. Those
Forget that.
$8 ones?
No way. No way.
No way.
I was born at night, not last night. You're not going to get me.
I dig that guy. I like that he shoots him.
You know what's great is and this is like the realism of the show when he like shoots him, but it's real loud.
Yeah,
like he grabs his ear.
Yeah. And I like how later he's just a guy hanging out, laughing with the fellas when
it's a gig.
When little Stevie, what's his name?
Sylv
is doing his little impressions, his little song and dance.
Yeah.
I love it. Just fellas hanging out.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, but that's a big thing though. The fact that like, that Tony is whacking made guys. Now, part of it is also because this guy was in Junior's crew.
Yeah.
So he's loyal
and he had to send a message.
Right. So not only is he loyal to Junior, but then he's gossiping about Tony. So now he becomes very expendable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something that blew me the fuck away was Pussy comes back.
I mean, I know you were sitting there. It was 1 week ago when the last episode came out that you were sitting there going like, oh, the where's Pussy? And I'm worried about him and blah, blah, blah. So he shows up at the bottom of Tony's driveway and he says that he's been in Puerto Rico the whole time. He went down because he has a bad back.
And stayed for a woman.
How do we feel?
Heartbreak. Heartbreak came up later. But in that moment, I'm thinking Pussy's telling the truth.
You were. Because you want him to be.
Yeah, you do.
You want him to be telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think when you're looking at the basement conversation between Tony and Pussy on this episode 1, that I think Tony knows but doesn't want to know.
I don't know. I didn't get that feeling.
Who goes to Puerto Rico? Who just disappears to Puerto Rico when you're in the mafia?
He has Paulie check it out later. And then he's always kind of, you are right, he's always kind of weary of Pussy. He starts leaving him out of conversations. He makes him report. He bumps up a couple guys, makes him report to them, and I don't know. I mean, Pussy.
Yeah. You were happy to see him, though, on this episode.
I was.
Episode 1, you were happy that he was okay.
Yeah.
Were you worried that he had met an untimely fate? Like, what did you think coming off of
I was
season
worried
1?
he was dead, but the interesting thing that when Pussy shows up, and I see this and notice it throughout the show, is that Tony is a friend.
Yes.
But more than anything, he's a boss.
Yeah.
Tony is a friend, and more than anything, he's a boss. And you see that in his reconciliation with Pussy, where at first he taps him down for a wire, and then he goes, come here, gives him a hug. They share this friendship embrace, and then he grabs him and goes, don't ever fucking do this again. And then they're just eating and hanging out.
Right.
He's always a friend, but he slips that, don't forget who the fuck I am in there.
I'll forget friendship real quick.
Yes.
Like
and that shows up too.
Well, so
and I gotta say, also, can we get into the first episode stuff? Right? Is this first episode or second?
We're talking about episode 1 right now. So.
Yeah. Richie?
That's not yet.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Right,
yeah, we got a lot to dissect with him. But who we do meet in this first episode is Matt Bevilacqua and Sean Gismonti. Who
are these?
Christopher's guys.
Oh my God.
Come on. Now that Christopher's working Webistics.
Yes,
he's a stockbroker
right.
now.
After he went to school. Yeah. That was great.
The Asian guy.
Was great. Yeah. Here. Dude, Webistics.
Webistics.
Wow.
And then they just they're sitting there.
What idiots.
They beat the guy up because they're so
exposition. You know who these guys are. They're just off the fucking jump.
They want to be a part of this. They want to be in the mafia.
Yep.
Because they've seen The Godfather. And that's also, I think, one of the reasons why Analyze This and The Godfather and Goodfellas and Casino, all this exists in this Sopranos universe, which, like you were saying, is something that you don't really get. Like other mob shows and movies
don't acknowledge.
They don't acknowledge it. Like in those universes, these movies don't exist. In this one, they do, because I think that the Matthew Bevilacquas of the world are not only seeing the Tonys and the Paulies and the Christophers and the Sills, but they're also watching all these movies.
Yes.
And as they've showed, are listening to gangster rap.
Yeah.
And they want to be these guys, but they want to be it now.
Yep.
So they think, because of all the movies and stuff that they've seen, if anybody even backtalks by mistake, because the guy didn't even backtalk. He was like,
he's being a good employee.
It doesn't seem like a good idea. Yeah. Oh, really? Throws burning hot coffee on him
twice. Beats the shit out of him.
The rest of the employees are sitting there like, what the hell is
the
going
manager
on?
comes, he uses a envelope opener against his throat, And these guys are desperate. We'll do anything. We'll do wet work. We'll iron his shirts. It's like, buddy, take it easy. You'll murder and you'll be a maid? Yeah. Buddy, have some self-respect.
Yeah. Don't want it so bad.
But they also are a reflection of Chris, because he wants it so bad.
Absolutely.
And he wants it soon, but we see later he's not willing to.
But it's also like Chris is not sensitive to that, though.
Right.
Christopher does not see himself in these people. Christopher still is just so blind in his ambitions.
Because his mind's clouded with them drugs.
Well, the drugs don't help.
No.
The drugs don't help.
No.
I think that's it. Yeah, for episode 1. I like my big takeaways. The Webistic stuff. Like I feel like that. Like a lot of the Melfi stuff. Setting up.
Yeah.
For the future, and I think that the big here's where we're at to me is when Philly Parisi just gets shot just like that, just gets killed for bringing up Tony's mom and the gossip and everything. We're like, okay, this is where we're at today.
Yeah.
Episode 2 of season 2 is called "Do Not Resuscitate." DNR. Which, let's get right to it. The reason why the episode is named that. All AJ again. All innocent AJ. We talked about him last time. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
He goes like...
Little Mr. Innocent picks up a piece and just fucking shoots it out like it doesn't matter.
But then you wonder, right? Because AJ's DNA.
Oh, you wonder if it's part manipulation.
It's the same thing that Livia does.
No. Livia's calculated. AJ, innocent boy.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe he's troublesome.
Is that something that happens later?
I don't know. I'm not.
Are you planting
No.
a seed?
No. I'm not planting.
Is this an Easter egg for me to open later?
That would be like the way to I don't know. You'd think I was a genius, even though I've seen the show 6 times. It's like, what's gonna happen.
How'd you know? Because I basically know the script front to back.
No, I'm just saying that when I watched it, and I got what you got the first time or two that I watched it. But as I watch it now, I go, what if Because some of that manipulation is unconscious, right?
Well,
like some of Livia's manipulation is not conscious. Like it's just her nature. Like it's just who she is.
I don't know. And that's scary too, to exist where your natural default setting is manipulation that you're not even aware of.
Like sometimes you don't even know why you're doing this. Like what is the result? I'm just doing this thing because it's going to make a person feel a way.
Yeah.
And like your instinct is to have that power like that. I think that's a thing.
It's like if you bring up it's trauma bonding. If you bring up a tragedy, are you doing it to bond with someone? Are you doing it just because you need to share it? Or are you doing it because subconsciously you want them to feel bad for you? And that's a way to engage in a friendship the only way you know how.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. So is AJ an innocent boy? You say yes.
I think so. I'd like him to be.
Because to you, he's just the same AJ. What? No fucking ZD?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so he overhears the nurses talking to Tony about like, does she have a DNR? And he just sits there in her room going, Grandma?
Yeah.
What's a DNR?
Grandma?
What did you say? A DNR. We learned in school about DNA, but then I heard my dad talking about a DNR. What's a DNR?
That's such...
He wants to get a DNR?
Yeah.
What is it? like how, but it's also like how carefully and methodically things can be planned. And then this kid just blows it. Like, what's a DNR? My dad was talking about getting one for you. Like, what?
I mean, oh God, you just put it in my head that he's a manipulator too, and I don't like it.
He might not, because it's like...
Right.
You don't do it on purpose if it's in your genes.
He's obsessed about DNA and science and stuff, so maybe he's thinking about it all the time.
Here's his DNA. He comes from rotten soprano DNA. That's his DNA.
How dare you say the Sopranos are rotten?
I think maybe
they're hardworking Italian Americans.
I think maybe Meadow got some of that Carmela DNA from that side of the family, which isn't the perfect, but not nearly as bad. No. And that mental illness that trickles through, that comes from Livia, trickles through Tony and Janice.
Yes.
It seems like their third sister is okay.
She's a balance. She's
seems
good.
like she seems but we also don't know her that well.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe her husband's got a different story.
I will say, in relation to other movies and stuff, it is always so nice to see actors that were in Goodfellas or another movie. Like, Carmela's mother is Karen's mother in Goodfellas. Who are these? What kind of people are they? And Beans is, you want to see helicopters? I'll show you helicopters at the end of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, Melfi, come on.
Oh!
Lorraine Bracco.
Yes. Yeah. And again, I said it before and I'll say it again. When Christopher shoots a guy in the foot, he goes, it happens. It happened to Spider.
And I'll tell you too, and we'll get there. There is a character that was originally pitched for Ray Liotta that Ray Liotta doesn't play. When we meet this character, I'll tell you who he is.
Well, I'll tell you right now, poor Ray Liotta's face. I don't know what
I don't know what happened.
Good God.
Yeah, he had a good run, though.
Yeah.
His face had a good run.
Wow. Ooh, rest in peace.
Maybe it's all the Chantix.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'll smoke for the rest of my life. I'm not taking a chance on Chantix. Hey, I will say this. You said it, and I wonder if, because another friend has said, Sopranos gets so good the more you watch it and you rethink different things and they take on other meaning.
Like AJ.
Is that AJ thing real, or have you just put the microscope on it so much you're too close?
I did not even consider it until multiple viewings. So it's very, very possibly putting the microscope on it.
Right.
And like us Sopranos people hold David Chase in such high regard, we may add a lot of meaning to stuff that is sort of, he just throws out there.
Well, it's like a song. You make it, and then once, that art is disseminated to other people, the meaning belongs to them.
Yes.
Even if you meant it in a whole nother way, it's up to interpretation.
Yes.
And what's also blowing my mind is, obviously people are listening to the show and everything. Thank you.
Yeah.
But friends of mine are reaching out, and what I'm being told over and over is, Season 1, Season 2 doesn't even scratch the surface of how good the show gets later, which blows my mind because already this is just the greatest show of all time.
I'll tell you right now.
Cannot believe it gets better.
Season 3 is great, becomes transitional. Season 4 is a totally different show. and it's great.
I can't.
It's incredible.
I can't imagine.
But so we're in episode 2 here. Of course, this becomes like, I mean, one of the great Soprano scenes is Junior slipping in the shower.
Oh God,
poor old man.
Yeah.
And you just see the vulnerability.
Yep.
Your sister's cunt.
Yep.
Like,
Motherless fuck. Yeah. He always says motherless fuck. Oh, dude, speaking of cussing, the way Tony says, I'm the motherfucking fucking one.
Yeah.
That is, I've never heard fuck used in that like repetitive way before with so much fucking power.
It's just so good because you don't see an actor at all.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, this is real life.
Yeah.
So, speaking of actors, this is also the episode 2, where we do get the confirmation on pussy. And it's just, one of the things I love about this show, I just love that, like, you're sitting there suspicious for the end of season 1, that first episode of season 2, you're a little suspicious, but it seems like everything's okay. And then they just throw a scene on. It's just, here's a scene, and you're like, oh, who's that guy that pussy's talking to? Oh, he's an FBI agent because pussy's an informant. I forgot to tell you.
Oh,
like
and Jimmy died for nothing?
Yeah. Well, okay. Now that we're here, good. I was literally having this conversation with somebody yesterday. Was Jimmy also an informant? Or was he not?
I don't think so. I think he was just a talkative, inquisitive, fun kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he was just excitable.
We never saw a wire.
No.
We didn't see a wire.
And of course he's got a gun on him. He's in the fucking mafia. They all have guns on him.
Yeah, they shot him because they had guns on him.
And he went for the gun, not because he was a fucking double agent.
Because he knows in the mob, once somebody has a gun to your head and says you're a rat, there's no getting out of it.
That poor fella.
Poor Jimmy now. You're upset about Jimmy.
I'm upset about Jimmy. And I'm upset because I loved pussy and now I don't. Because he's a rat.
We sitting there talking to Skip. What do you think of Skip?
I have a thought about the two of them later. Do you want to hear it now?
Skip's
the FBI agent.
Yes.
Yes. No, not a prediction, just a fascinating moment.
Okay.
When later in the season, I think like episode 4 or
okay, well then let's save it. Let's save it. Let's save it because we're only going to episode.
Oh, you son of a
We're only
bitch.
going to episode 3 today.
Okay, yeah. I have
save it for next week.
But man, and is this the episode where thank you very much, where he shows up? Or is that later?
That's later.
Okay, all right.
No. We'll get it.
This motherless
all we're doing
with the FBI.
We see Pussy and Skip in a car together, and Pussy's reluctant about giving him information.
He's reluctant about Tony. He's flipping on other people, but Tony is complicated for him because they go way back.
They're actual friends.
And he's willing to flip on fucking little minuscule stuff, but Tony, close to the chest.
Yeah.
Close to the shaved chest.
And you know why it's shaved?
I can't talk about it right now.
How did you feel when the reality sits in, right? Because that's a huge moment. Because you thought you got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crazy that they didn't end season 1 with that they were just like, no, he's not going to be the informant. And then episode 2.
But
just one
Paulie
episode
goes, it checks out. He's in Puerto Rico. Was he in Puerto Rico?
Or did he just book tickets?
Or
is Paulie not that? Yeah, maybe.
Where was Pussy?
Maybe they sent him to Puerto Rico.
But then he doesn't tell his wife? He keeps all that a secret?
Well, what's he going to tell his wife, that he's a rat? You didn't even tell his wife about his Gumar. He's going to tell his wife that he's a rat? You just don't want to believe.
Gumar or Guman?
I say Gumar because I'm not Italian.
Oh.
I say R.
I'm Italian. I'm learning more about my heritage.
Good.
Yes.
Good. But, okay, so at the same time, we get this terrible news. By the way, it is hilarious. It's a little subplot, not super important to the overall picture, but for this episode, it is funny, the reveal that Tony and the... what's his name? Reverend James, the black guy.
Yes.
That they're working together.
Yes.
This is all based on nothing. This is all a scheme. That's funny.
Yeah. It's so funny because I watch a documentary on race and everything, and this guy said that race is always exploited for power.
And there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exploiting these poor people just so that he can line his pockets. And I thought it was so respectful of how Tony dealt with his father.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, I love Tony, and he's such a complicated character.
He's very complicated.
Oh.
I'll tell you a character that you will grow to love. I believe. We meet him in this episode.
Who?
Bobby Bacala.
Bobby Baklava. Bacala.
I know you think he's baklava because he likes desserts, but it's not a nickname. His name is Bobby Bacala.
I hear he is great.
You'll get there.
I hear he is great.
You just haven't met that.
No.
Not yet.
No.
He's just there to...
Little taste. Also, we get a little taste of Vito.
Who you remember from your favorite scene in the
bakery.
In the bakery.
Yes. And then he shows up at a game later. And he's intriguing to me because why does he become important later, but now he's just a regular guy?
Yeah.
No,
you're...
Fuck you, Sam. I just gotta say this fucking show. I love doing it, but it makes me stop binge watching Sopranos. I just want to keep going. I just want to watch it all. I want to inject it all into my veins.
Can you believe the pussy was a rat? Can you believe that? He was talking to Skip.
Dude, it hurts so much.
He's Tony's best friend.
I might cry. I can't imagine someone
and it's
doing
just
that.
It's just like here's a scene, and you're like, what's going on in this scene? Wait, what? Wait, what?
It's like sitting in the back of an Uber and he's about to fucking crash, and you're like, wait, is this happening? And everything slows down.
Like there's no.
Do you and I both have tears in our eyes?
I think
now?
so, because in this show, this was so beautiful. They don't prepare you for anything.
No,
like in episode 1, Philly Parisi getting shot. You're like, oh, I wonder what's going on here. Oh, that guy's dead. Like he's just, and you're like, is this a dream sequence? But you're waiting for Tony to wake up. He thinks the big pussy is talking to Skip. Nobody's waking up. You know why? It's not Freddy Krueger. It's real life.
But okay, so Pussy. Mm-hmm. Also, I love how everyone calls him Pussy.
Pussy, that's his name.
Yeah. Even the wives call him Pussy. So
how about AJ calls him Uncle Pussy?
Uncle Pussy, amazing. So hold on, what could finances be that bad that he has to do this? Aren't his kids old enough to make their own money? Why is he doing this? He can't take time away in jail?
Look, I think he doesn't want to go to jail. That's the hard truth.
As
I think
a maid guy, he's made, right?
Very made.
As a maid guy, wouldn't he be protected in jail? Wouldn't he be able to still have like?
It's not.
We've seen Goodfellas,
but it's not Goodfellas. It's a world where Goodfellas exists as a movie, but it's not the same world.
He's not going to get taken care of in prison. He's not going to get a deal that Junior gets, huh?
Well, apparently, drug charges. Drug charges are drug charges, and dealing H is not it's not a mafia job.
He's not going to talk to Tony and say, you got to get me a good lawyer. Let's work on this together.
Probably because they all get worried that the minute they say they get pinched, even if they say, don't worry, I'm not ratting, I'm going to be on your side. He's going to
get killed anyway. Yeah.
Because the risk is too high.
Yeah.
I think he just doesn't want to go to jail.
But you got to go to jail and face the consequences of your actions.
You're thinking Goodfellas again. You're thinking of Ray Liotta as a kid going to jail. And everybody applauding him.
Yeah. I've always wanted that. I've always wanted a group of men to be proud of me.
You did your time.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Oh, you popped your cherry. I mean, pussy, man.
And then a couple little tidbits all around Junior. I think Junior starts to flesh out a little bit. Number one, the fact that Tony is mocking him for the fact that Livia played him like a fiddle. Mm-hmm. And he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. He's not wrong. I agree with Tony on that. And number two, the fact that Tony is vocal now. He's letting Junior know what he can keep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what he can't. Like,
he's showing him his cards.
If you remember, season 1, it was all like, we're going to make Junior boss, but I'm really going to be in charge. Now he's looking right at Junior's face and telling him, I'm in charge and you're lucky to get this.
Yeah. And he goes, I'm getting the cars. Or the Mercedes.
Yeah. And Junior can only accept it because he's still in this weird period where he knows that Tony knows that
Junior's like Instagram. It's all a facade.
It is.
And he's the one making the post to make himself look great, but he knows in his heart that he's using a touch-up app.
Yeah, he is.
And he's got cellulite and wrinkles.
And by the way, all those likes that he's getting on it, that's like some workshop overseas.
Yep.
Those aren't real followers.
Bots. No.
Bots.
No.
So that's episode 2. Can you believe about pussy?
I know you're doing this to keep getting a reaction out of me. You keep bringing it up when you don't have to. and it's hurting.
It is, right?
It really hurts.
Well, we go a little bit further. Episode 3. Episode 3 is where we meet Richie April.
Is that episode 3?
Episode 3 is where Richie shows up. Richie, of course, Jackie.
Jackie's brother.
Jackie's older brother, Jackie April, the beloved former boss, a person that Tony loved like an uncle, like a brother, like a whatever.
Respect.
Yeah, Tony, adored this man.
Yeah.
Richie April has been in jail for 10 years, I think. And he gets out.
And thinks the world is owed to him.
Yeah, he's got his members only jacket on.
Yeah.
A lot of pinky talking. His pinkies are up. And but he's old school.
Mm-hmm.
He's not caught up with the way things are going right now.
No.
And he's got a difficult time fitting in.
He's got a difficult time acclimating to the new way of life.
Yes.
And I do not like him.
Well, no,
Off the bat, he is an evil, motherless fuck, to quote Junior.
Evil is the word.
He even looks evil. The way they make him look.
He looks evil.
Yeah.
And he goes into that pizza parlor.
Poor Beans.
He smashes the coffee pot right over Beansy's head. Beansy's not what he's there for.
Beansy's is a good guy.
Yeah. He's been good. Business has been good.
He just wants people to see helicopters.
That's it. Well, no, this is again. You're thinking about No, they get confusing. And then, of all the disrespect, and here's why I think you really don't like Richie.
Right.
He doesn't respect Tony.
No, he doesn't.
Tony goes to him and he says, Richie, leave Beansy alone. What are you doing?
Also, can we just say how funny it is that when he does go to meet Richie, they're in a mall? When he is talking to Junior, they're in a doctor's office. They got to do these secret little
everything's
things
bugged
in the waiting room.
Yeah.
What a way to keep business booming.
You got to.
It's adjusting.
Look, you were doing stand-up in Central Park and
I was just going to say.
You got to adjust.
The FBI is their pandemic.
That's right.
The FBI is their corona, and they're adjusting and making it work. Because guess what?
What?
I'm tired of this life, and I'm never going to stop.
Rico is their COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rico Corona.
We got a little problem with Rico Corona.
Yeah, we're going to have to give him a shot.
But first he beats up Beansy. Then Tony says, leave him alone.
And does he? No.
He runs him over with his car.
And not only that, he goes, I heard you saw Beansy. He goes, yeah, I saw him. And then I reversed and saw him again.
He's evil. Evil and doesn't respect Tony. And is not only does he not respect Tony, he's indignant about it.
Oh, and not only that, what's he do with Pavarotti? What's he do with Janice?
I don't think you're calling her Pavarotti.
What's he do with that Looney Tune?
He sees her in the yoga class.
And he wants to get a piece.
And you know too. Talk about manipulation. This is not a love at first sight scenario. He is not trying to spark an old romance, as they both claim.
No.
Janice is being used. And by the way,
she's using him.
You see it.
Yeah.
You see it.
Yep.
Both of them are used because they're both obsessed with Tony.
Yeah. And they're both users.
And they're both evil people.
Evil
people.
Evil
bad
at their core.
Now, let's talk about another relationship. Melfi and Tony. This is the episode where Melfi sees her therapist.
And also,
this is a very important episode. Melfi sees her therapist in this episode. We meet Richie in this episode.
Also, something I love about The Sopranos.
By the way, it's called Toodle Fucking Ooh. Is the episode 3 Toodle Fucking Ooh? Because
I thought it was Toodle Fucking Do. Toodaloo, yes,
Toodle Fucking Ooh.
Because she sees him out drunk. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Toodaloo. Wow, so relatable.
Yeah.
To being drunk and seeing someone making a fool, obsessing about it.
And it's the same. It's like being a kid in middle school.
Yes,
and
I
seeing
got
the
that
girl
vibe.
that you have a crush on and saying some dumb shit.
Yep.
That's what Melfi did.
Yeah.
But Melfi has not fully confronted what her feelings are for Tony.
No.
So when she says toodaloo, that's her id kind of popping out.
Yes, and that's the schoolgirl crush.
Yes.
That's the intriguing, oh my God, I was so nervous because I like this person. I made an ass of myself. And that's a good feeling. It reminds me of being a youngin' again, and I love it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
When you're nervous and you stare at the ground.
Yeah, because it's painful when it's bad. It's so good when it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Then it's pure.
Yeah, pure.
It's pure in its
And
feeling.
Something I
Is that
love,
how you are with Carm? Your Carm?
Pure.
Pure.
Very pure.
Pure. Yeah.
Pure.
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 Sure.
That's amore.
Yeah, pure is amore.
Pure amore.
I see.
I love dream sequences in the show.
Let me tell you something.
Because you think it is real. And then other things that you go, this has got to be a dream.
Yeah.
Is real.
Yeah, no, David Chase does, to me, the best dream sequences in any television show.
Out of control.
Yeah, they're really great because you're like, that is what it's like when I dream.
Yeah, and
You
also
know?
you don't know. Yeah, there's these weird things popping in. You don't know when you're watching, is this a dream or is this real?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get invested in what you think is real. Oh, it's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm seeing things happen. I go, this has got to be a dream. This has got to be a dream. And it's real.
And it's real. Like, Big Pussy can't really have,
Yes!
but it's real. I'm sorry to say.
I don't want to believe it.
I'm sorry to say.
I don't want to believe it.
How about, and so, yeah, so I feel like Melfi's arc in this episode is like, her going to the therapist, talking it out with the therapist, the fact that we do eventually end with, oh, wait, we're not there yet. Melfi is still figuring out what Melfi wants to bring Tony back into her life.
Yeah.
Melfi wants to see Tony.
Dude.
And everybody around her is like, none of this is a good idea. This is the worst idea ever.
A sick part of me, I love Carmela, but I love Melfi.
Who do you love for Tony?
I wish you could have both.
This is like Les Mis.
This is Sophie's Choice.
Well, it could be Sophie's Choice, but it's like, okay.
I don't know Les Mis.
Okay, well.
And I only know Sophie's Choice.
Well, you've got. It's the only movie I've seen.
It's the only movie I've ever seen.
It's my entire basis of comparison.
Everything is Sophie's Choice to me.
Yeah, it's just all choices. This is a real Sophie's Choice. Like, no, it's just a menu.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
No, you're at a diner.
No, I mean, it's like, yeah, I guess like Carmela is the one that is going to love Tony unconditionally. Carmela is the one that's going to take care of Tony. Carmela is the one that's going to dote after Tony. But Melfi may be the one that Tony actually connects with emotionally. Like, Melfi is the real true love. It's like that song Jolene by Dolly Parton.
Oh.
Have
you ever
seen
heard that
or...
Slow Down?
Yeah, well, I have heard many different versions of it.
Jolene Slow Down on record.
Yeah, actually, it sounds
Jolene,
like Sophie's Choice.
Jolene, it's haunting.
Like Sophie's Choice.
Yes. Again, only movie I've seen comparable to everything in my life. Yeah.
So then, by the end of the episode, because Richie is so, like, this is what drives you crazy. Richie is so tired of taking guff from Tony. But the reason he's taking guff from Tony is because he's literally doing the things that Tony's saying, do not do this.
Yeah.
And then Richie's doing it, and then Tony's being like, the fuck? And then Richie's being like, whoa, hey, whoa.
Yeah.
And you're like, he told you not to do that. Are you surprised he's mad?
Yeah.
You ran over Beansy.
He's telling you not to do something, and then you have a choice, and you're choosing another thing. You were in a Sophie's Choice.
That's okay. Is that the Meryl Streep movie?
Yeah. Yes.
But then at the end, when we've got Richie pledging his loyalty to Junior, that's when you're like, I thought we were out of this. I thought we were out of the woods. Are we going back into is this going to start again?
I mean, talk about picking the wrong horse.
It makes no sense.
Well, I mean, but that's in line with Richie's character. Nothing he does makes sense.
No, and then you got Janice over here, this is also a very telling episode about Janice, not only because of what she's doing with Richie, but because this is the episode where Meadow throws the party.
Not only is she manipulating Richie, but she's manipulating the nest at home.
Yes.
She is playing puppeteer of Meadow and Tony getting in the way of how they raise a daughter. But at the end of the episode, when she's cleaning the house, was that Pavarotti?
I don't think so.
Then who made her clean the house?
I think she decided to do it.
Really?
I think Meadow. So let's go through this step by step.
Okay.
Because Meadow throws the party at Livia's house.
Yes.
And trashes it.
Total trash.
We see the manipulation in Meadow.
And we also see a child turning into adult slipping away from the parental connection. Yes. We see Tony truly being powerless.
Right.
And it's the first time he can't control. And Carmela's talking. He goes, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And this man that controls so much and is in charge of so much and so quick with decisions, knowing someone's going to die. Okay. He can't even control his daughter or his own family.
But follow me on this. This is why I don't think Meadow was necessarily infected by that DNA that maybe AJ was, because Meadow manipulates to get an easier punishment.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. With that evil friend Hunter.
Hunter's not a good influence.
No.
I'm not a fan of Hunter.
Neither am I.
Hunter, Richie, and Janice can go, excuse my French, jump off a bridge.
Oh.
Isn't it? Okay.
Hey.
Look.
Or jump off the boat.
Yay. Oh, whoa.
Oh.
But
get stepped on by the boot. Because Italy is shaped like a boot.
Forgot it is shaped like a boot. But Meadow has this face after she's manipulated her parents. It's a face of acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not guilt,
mm-hmm.
but she's aware that she's done this. This is not some thing that has forced her to do it. It's not in her DNA. She's just like any other kid that would be like, it's like, it's a kid doing kid stuff. It's not toxic manipulation so much as she's aware of her parents' imperfections.
Right.
So she's going to get an easier punishment. But that's as far as it goes. She's not being toxically manipulating. She's not lying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's just kind of working her little teenage girl magic.
Yes.
And the acknowledgement to me is what differentiates it. Because we never see an acknowledgement if AJ is manipulating in his little fat AJ body. If
his little fat AJ body.
I mean, it's charming. He's a young man.
Yes,
you know, it's not a bad thing. But if he is manipulating, he doesn't acknowledge it because it's just his nature.
Right.
Livia manipulates, doesn't acknowledge.
Right.
It's his nature. Even Tony manipulates, never acknowledges that he's manipulating because it's in his nature. Janice doesn't acknowledge her manipulation because it's in her nature.
Right.
Meadow acknowledges the manipulation because it's not in her nature. She's acting outside of her nature and specifically doing a thing to get this result, which is just to get an easier punishment. And that's why I think that there's a higher moral compass in Meadow. We saw it throughout the first season, and we see it going into the second season, that she is struggling way more than even Carmela with the fact that her dad is in this life. Carmela does not struggle with Tony's life.
Right.
She accepts it. Meadow struggles.
Right.
Meadow struggles with the morality behind it, which is why when Meadow is cleaning the house, because Janice is just a piece of trash. The way she comes in and she says you got to be easier on her,
and Janice can't even stay at the family barbecue. She has to go to New York, and they might finance my video. Yeah,
but the way she says, girls are going to be teenagers, blah blah blah. Like you can't be whatever. She goes on Antifa on Tony and
You're
Carmela.
not going to recognize the severity of what Meadow did?
Well, you are when it affects you. Because then she sees that it affects her
house. And she goes back and goes, you're really going to let her do that?
Completely different story because it affects her. That's her hypocrisy, right? It's a microcosm for the whole thing. It just, in a nutshell, this is who Janice is. Which, again, is why she's a bad person.
Yes.
And and she's not even aware of how grossly hypocritical and manipulative she is. It's just who she is.
Yeah.
Which is why I think Meadow hears this argument, and Meadow
goes, I don't want to be a Janice.
I don't want to be Janice. I don't want to be my dad. I don't want to be my mom. I don't want to be any of these people. And I think she goes to clean the house because she is struggling with the fact that in her heart she wants to be a good person. And even though she's got a big house, and even though she gets to, hang out with Hunter all night, even though she gets the stereo and she gets to stay out, she doesn't want to be a bad person. So I think she made the choice. And that's why Tony is almost confused when he sees her. Because for Tony, the idea that you would feel remorse is foreign.
Doesn't exist.
It's like, what?
But in a way, has Tony not been a good father by being a bad father? Because it's showing Meta that she doesn't want to be like him? Okay. You're right. You're right. I got into a little, me and my Carm.
Right.
We saw this, and when Meadow says, well, I need $15 for this CD for school, I go, I would have said, find the money on your own. And my Carm goes, yeah, but then she'd have to resort to like dirty tactics or whatever to get that money. And I go, or she would not get the thing, do poorly in school as a consequence of her action. You should have thought about what could happen if I have a party at my grandmother's house.
Okay, but
before.
Does a teenage girl, does Meadow doing poorly in school? Like, are you like, if I told you when you were in high school, you can have a party in your grandma's house and have the time of your life, but if you do, you're going to do poorly in school. Would that have swayed you from having that party?
No.
I don't think it would have.
No.
That's a bad consequence.
Yeah.
There's never been a kid in high school.
But Meadow cares about school because she wants to go to a good college. And she wants to go to Berkeley.
To escape. She wants to escape.
Yes. So
which is why.
And she does care about academics. And more than anything, she cares about choir and she cares about being the single singer.
Well,
so that's important to her.
Yeah, you're right.
So yes, that is a consequence of her misbehavior.
Well, I'll tell you that it's not necessary. Because I think, and because again, it all goes, I think the reason she's cleaning the house is an escape. The idea that this is so foreign under the roof that she lives in, it's almost a rebellion to do the right thing and clean the house after you've made a mess. When was the last time anybody in that house cleaned up their own mess, metaphorically or literally?
Yeah.
Svetlana does it, or whatever their housekeeper's name is.
Yes.
Not this time, because Meadow is rebelling in the most positive of ways. And I think that is where we'll leave it. That's where we'll close episode 3. We'll be back, I guess, next week with another episode of Sopranos Prima Volta.
Well, before we go, I have something to give you, Sam.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not a stupid book about how to talk with your hands, is it?
It was until you said that.
I don't want that book.
Well, you're not having
It's offensive.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
What?
That's your Sophie's choice to say that. I have something for you.
Oh my gosh.
And
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you to.
You've been hiding
see
this.
it. Yes.
This is amazing.
Now, this is, I mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
I have spent, a lot of money on some things.
Yeah.
And some of them have been physical Sopranos apparel to be portrayed as more Italian.
Okay.
And we do the podcast together. Mi familia. You're my paisano.
You right? Yeah.
And paisanos that dress alike stay together.
Oh my God.
And I got you a nice little Soprano Bowman shirt.
That.
Now, I will say it's just for the show. That is mine. Give it back when you're done. But
this is a rental.
It's a rental for you, but, from me to you.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Hey, Bella.
Well, hey, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment. We were really happy with all the comments that we got.
Yeah, thank you.
Some of you, I was accused. I saw a couple of the comments. Number one, somebody said, this is a bad idea. There already is a Sopranos Rewatch podcast with Christopher and Bobby Bacala. And I would tell you that, number one, Ian and I bring something different as two fans. And number two, Prima Volta.
Prima Volta.
This is not Bobby Bacala and Christopher's first time watching.
No.
Ian is being introduced to some of the classic characters in American television.
Yes.
For the first time. How rare is this?
Very rare.
What a treat.
For someone to not engage in a cultural phenomenon.
Like,
when
you're
it's happening.
just now sad about finding out that pussy was a rat.
It's like I'm Richie Aprile and I'm getting out of jail.
Right.
And I've had no access to the way things have changed and the way they were.
And Beansy's over here in the comments disrespecting you.
I'm going to run you over with my car.
Good. And the other thing, the other thing was somebody said that they were laughing at me for backtracking on my Carm take.
Whoa.
They thought that, and the reason that I did not prove my case on the Carm take was because I realized that I was in the argument. It was a little too early to have the argument. I realized that it was, I wasn't as high on Carmela as you were. But I realized that this was a conversation to have down the road after, I as well as I know Carmela.
Yes.
It was not a fair conversation.
Right.
And I didn't want to ruin anything for you.
Right. Thank you.
And we'll continue to enjoy this together. I'll be wearing this bowling shirt.
Yes.
You subscribe to the channel, hit like on the video.
Yep.
And then next week we'll go through. We did episodes 1 through 3. So how about season 2, 4 through 6? How'd that sound to you?
Hey, that sounds bellissimo. And do me a favor, while you're in the comment section, let us know what you think of each episode too.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
We're saying some things. You like what we're saying and you feel another way. Maybe that'll open our mind.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And hit that thumbs up while you got your hands up.
Hey, do this and then do this and then do like it.
We'll see you soon.
Adios. Ciao.